What's up, Bill? What's up, King?
Not much, brother. How you guys doing?
Good, man. We good.
Good.
Good to see you.
Awesome.
You're down in Florida, right?
Yes, in Hollywood.
In Hollywood. Okay, good.
Yeah, South Florida.
Nice.
Yeah,
You've always been there?
No, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania originally, but
Okay.
I moved here chasing this thing called this bodybuilding dream that we all know about.
Okay.
Well,
So
Pittsburgh
let's-
was a bodybuilding place too, man. That's Mannion's background.
Yeah, absolutely. The only problem is financially to be able to make it happen there was hard because I knew when I moved down here, I was also involved in like fitness and training people, and a lot easier to train people in South Florida than there is in Pittsburgh.
Right.
The weather's a lot better. I mean, I like I'd stand the cold. I mean, but all right. So tell us, you competed a long time, and I know it took you a while to get your pro card too. When did you start competing? Why did you get into bodybuilding? Everybody get it? Did you play sports before?
Yeah,
Tell us all that, Bill.
My background is wrestling. I was a wrestler, and I also played football, but my main sport was wrestling. And then after high school, I kind of decided I had like scholarships and stuff lined up, but I kind of decided that I wanted to be a bodybuilder. So I actually competed my first time when I was a junior in high school.
Wow.
And kind of fell in love with it there, and competed in the teenage division, won the teenage Mr. Teenage Pittsburgh.
Bill, did you have anybody helping you out, or like
a little bit here and there? Believe it or not, when I won the teenage Pennsylvania, my workout partner was Edgar Fletcher.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
cool.
I worked out. He's actually the person that really got me kind of started.
And for those who don't know Edgar Fletcher, he's probably the greatest amateur bodybuilder to never turn professional ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his claim to. I know he hates that, but that's
he was a genetic freak.
Yeah.
He had all the tools, but he was kind of my opinion. I can say this because I know him very well. He wasn't like somebody that was extremely coachable. He was only going off the knowledge he had.
Well, Bill, that's a lot of people. As most people are on the top are very hard to coach. They're not very coachable, and so a lot of potential with them. But people are you got to have that mental. I always explain people to my client yesterday. You have to be mentally strong as just as physically strong.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What I heard about Edgar was that he had an issue with eating. He loves to eat. And it was the dieting was the hard part for him. The training was easy because he was a genetic freak. We all knew that.
For sure.
It was the diet. Yeah, I remember, I think it was Mannion who told me that. He said, look, Mannion loved him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jimmy loved him. And he says, yeah, we had him come even stay at our place and make sure he didn't eat bad. But, it is what it is.
A lot of times with him, it was towards the end.
Yeah.
Like he would be like getting close and he thought he was getting too small. Next thing you know, he goes off the diet. And then you know how that goes.
Yeah. Curly Top I love Curly Top. If you don't know Curly Top was like that Stan McQuarrie. He would text me 2 weeks before a show, King, I'm gonna have some nuts, man. Is that all right, man? Can we have nuts? I'm like, man, do what you gotta do. I don't know, man. But yeah, sometimes it's hard. The last couple of weeks, I say it to people all the time. You gotta be
100%.
strong, super strong up here, man.
Today, all you got to do. Yeah, today all you got to do is take a peptide and kill your appetite, and then you can diet. They got it so easy now.
Yeah,
we'll get into that.
Yeah, that's for sure. For me, it was kind of easy for me because I come from a wrestling background. In my opinion, wrestling is one of the toughest sports that there is. There's so many different components to it. You have to make weight. You have to be in shape. You have to be good at what you do. So coming there, I just took one discipline and took it into bodybuilding. So that aspect for me was pretty easy.
Nice. Yeah, wrestling.
So once you got started competing, tell us about your journey to get your pro card and how the obstacles getting there.
King, I don't know if you remember, my actual first national show was your first national show.
97, 96.
Jay Cutler won, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah, in Texas.
Yeah. And I believe you took like 11th.
I did.
And I took 13th. And you know what's funny? I believe that I think there was like maybe 8 guys that was in that class that ended up turning pro, and probably 5 or 6 guys that were actually competing in the Olympia.
Yeah. It was that's the year Willie Stalling won the overall.
Yep.
Jay won the heavyweights. Willie's won the light heavy because there was no super heavies back then.
Yep.
And then because a lot of people don't know that Jay did not win the overall.
Nope.
As much as accolades that he has and the Olympia champion and all that stuff that Jay has done, he didn't win the overall. It was Willie.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Was it Jay's conditioning? Was that what the problem was?
Willie was just superior.
Better.
He was just a freak. He was one of those Atlanta freaks. Him, Lee
Hayes, every
what we call it? Jesus Christ, Tony Freeman. Atlanta had all those guys back then, man. Freaks.
Yeah, for sure.
So Bill, what was some of the obstacles? Did you have anything crazy happen, like trying to get your pro card, not getting it? I know you got second several times, like that was discouraging. What made you keep going, and all that?
Actually, at the beginning, it was more along the lines of knowledge. I wasn't really around anybody. Like, I would be big and full in the off season. I just couldn't bring it to stage. I didn't know how to. There just wasn't a lot of people around that could help me to be able to do that. I took third 1 year at the USA when Bob Piccirillo won. And then all of a sudden I started going the wrong direction. I started getting like 6th, 7th, 8th place. So, and then I ended up I started training with Hani, and that was the big catalyst for me. Like, I went from 8th place to like 2nd. I took 2nd to Matt Duvall, and then I took 2nd to Chris Cook. And then the following year I actually won in 2000.
What year was that? Because I remember seeing you on stage, and I remember when you got with Hani, and that's when your body, just changed dramatically. But you put everything together.
2005.
Okay.
What did Hani do for you?
You know what it was, man? It was just a matter of one is, of course, protocols were, on point, which haven't been in effect. And it was just a matter of being able to not lose all my muscle when I dieted down. And because that's what I kept doing. I'd be big and full, and then on day of the show, I'd be flat and watery.
So what was that? What do you contribute that to? You contribute that to the gear or to the diet?
Everything.
Everything. Okay.
Yeah. And not so much like more of it, more along the lines of just doing it right.
Okay. Because the reason why I asked that is because everybody wants to know, like, Hani's one of the top coaches. What's his secret? And Armon and I do the show every week, and we try to let everyone know there is no secret.
Nope.
We try to explain that to people over and over again, and having great professionals like you come on and just to verify it again. That's why I like to have someone like you, like all our guests, explain that it's not a secret. Because people think right now, by you saying I got with Hani, I went from 8th to 2nd to meet. It was the communication.
100%.
It was the fact that he kept in touch with you. It was the accountabilities. It was the pictures. It's not some secret drug that he was giving you. It's not some secret diet that he was just being a machine.
I remember one time he told me that I envision you looking a way that you can't even envision you looking that way. And like always, like I take my pictures done. Oh, we're getting there, but not there. You're not there. You're not there. You're not there. So it definitely was along the lines of that stuff. And of course, carbon upright and not being flat and watery, Right. But something that if you have a physique and that like that 10% could make a huge difference.
Right.
You just got too many when people want to compete today, competing has become, it used to be a niche thing where it was like this hardcore thing that, that if you were a bodybuilder, someone's like, oh my God, you're a bodybuilder. Now it's become like, moms and soccer dads. So everybody wants to compete, because it's like a bucket list thing. They want to see if they can get the best shape and do a show. And now you got all these coaches too, which me and King have talked we talk all the time about the whole coach situation. You got a client, they do one show, win or not, they become a coach. They got the coach in the bio, and then they're taking people's money, and they're talking a good game, but when it comes down to it, they don't know what the F they're doing. Because, you know, like we King and Ty talked about it before, you got people contacting us. Like, I've had clients contact me like, hey, man, my clients, I mean, man, that's your client. You want to prep somebody for a show, you know, do your thing. You shouldn't be prepping anybody. There's all the time. There's people like, I'm coaching people. And I'm like, you don't even know the basics, like of what to do. And then plus the, you know, the protocols, and it just blows my mind. And then people will get up on stage. I trained with one of my clients yesterday. We're prepping for a show later this year, and his friend that owns a gym, he preps people, and he's like, man, you know, I want to tell him, like, you don't know what you're doing, but I'm friends with him, and he's never competed before himself, and I don't think you have to compete, because I think, you know, Hani didn't really compete. I think he said he did like one natural show, I think, but I don't know if that's true or not, but I think he said he did one natural show when he was younger, found out it wasn't for him, and tore his knee or something, and then started competing. He just genetically obviously didn't have it. And then you know, he's like, man, you should have seen this guy's clients. And I'm like, well, why are they hiring him? Like, why don't they know to go to someone else that is like, hey, I'm going on stage and I don't look like all the other people. I'm getting last place, and I look like I haven't even started my diet yet. And they just get up there. And I that just really pisses me off, and it's annoying because that person's ripping a person off, knowing they don't have what the tools would take to coach people. Because it's, as we all know, it's not just knowledge. You have to know how to apply that knowledge, when to apply it. Well, you know, and everybody's so different. It's not some easy thing to do.
Yeah, for sure. I can't tell you how many times I've trained people. I've got them ready for 1 or 2 shows. I look on their Instagram, and now they're a contest prep coach. Like, what? Like, how?
How do you
always?
Let me ask you this, Bill. How do you get over that conundrum? How do you get over that? I have seen it 1,000 times. I'm sure you've seen it 1,000 times. So has Armon. When you're in the gym or you're backstage at a show with your client, and you see these lost people with their so-called coaches, and they know you, they know that you're an IFBB pro, but they're skipping you to go to somebody who, how do you get past it? How do you not lose your mind? And don't you want to go up to these people and say, what are you doing? You know, because I know people that are making a ton of money. Well, they don't know what they're doing. I mean, it is ridiculous how much money some people make and what they pay for these cookie cut diets, because they think that they know something that somebody else doesn't.
You know what I try to do is, people like that, I always try to tell them, I'm like, ask your trainer why you're doing the stuff that you're doing. And if he can't explain it, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Right.
So if he's telling you to cut your water, if he's telling you to add sodium, take it out, if he can't tell you why you're doing that, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Right.
I mean, when people just don't even know the basics.
Protocol that he did that worked for him, and we all know,
right,
your body's never in the same state. So that's usually one thing that I usually do.
Yeah.
And I don't
it does blow our mind, though, because we see it all the time. And you know, I'll ask people sometimes, I'm like, what made you, they'll eventually hire me, like, what made you hire that person? They're like, well, I was going to come to you when I was more advanced. I'm like, why would you think like that? Like, why would you go to a coach that's, you know, basically shittier, you know, and then go to a coach that knows what they're doing later on? I think a lot of people are intimidated too. Like, hey, this person's going to put me to work to look the best I can on stage.
Too, they think they can't afford it.
Right.
Well, man, Bill, these beginner coaches, Bill, they're charging like the same price as a lot of like top coaches now. It's crazy. Like, literally, they're charging these kids. I see some of them like 15, 16 with like a lot of clients, and they're charging like whatever it's monthly, the same price as a top coach would charge. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Bill, let me ask you this. Have you ever helped someone win an overall or turn pro and then they left you for some other coach?
Yep, of course.
No, let's time out real quick. Time out. You see people how fast he answered that question. It wasn't even, and this is what we always have to go through. Because I myself personally, I've been doing this for a while now, and I have turned a lot of people professional all over the world, and they go to somebody else and they completely fuck up. And it, to me, it's absolutely, I mean, it doesn't shock me anymore. I'm completely used to it. I just wanted to hear one of your stories.
No, absolutely. I believe that it says, I don't sell people dreams. You know, like I'm not the coach. Don't come to me and like, hey, I'm going to train for 6 months and be like, oh, I'm going to turn you pro. I'll never tell somebody that. You know, I have to, you know, everybody has, there's levels to everything. And nowadays it's like, what do you consider a pro? You know what I mean? Like, are you going to be a pro and be competitive, or are you just going to get your pro card? You know? So I won't sell someone a dream. I won't tell somebody, hey, come with me. You're going to put on 20 pounds of muscle and you're going to win every show that you do. I just can't do that. You know?
So, which brings us to the next relevant point. It's the next story in this ladder that we're going right now. How does it make you feel to know that they're handing out 220 pro cards per national level show when we had four North American, USA, national champion, 1, 2, 3, and you have class winners at nationals, but usually the heavyweight, and if you're really, really, really good, the light heavyweight will do something in a pro. So we're talking four fucking people a year. Now it's 1,000 plus. How does that make you feel?
You know, it's crazy. It's like one of those things where I'm not going to lie, it definitely watered it down, you know, and it loses its status. Like, I remember, like, I would go to shows back in the day, and you walk in the show, you don't even call the promoter. You walk in, like, oh, hey, Bill, come on in. Now, you go to a show, you know, hey, I'm an Ifbb pro. They're like, yeah, you and 80 other people that are that promoters can't even afford to
Bill,
everybody in, because everyone's a pro.
When I was judging at the end of it, well, this is when I stopped judging. They were making judges us pay to go to local shows in Texas. I'm like, what do you mean we have to pay? Like, if we're not judging the show, we're just there, you know, with a client. When we're a judge, we work for nothing and give back so much. I'm like, that. I mean, it was. I believe it was Ed and Betty that started that really heavily in Texas, because before, you know, of course, close friends with Prince and Sheila and all them walk right back there, no problem. Right. And then Betty came in and they're like, like, you guys got to pay. And I'm talking to Sheila, like are you paying? Like, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, that's not okay, you know.
Can you blame them? It's like, you got, unless if you're a household name, like back in the day, if you won the nationals, the USA, you were pretty much guaranteed that you were going to get photo shoots. You were going to get guest appearances, you know, like all over, you know, you traveled, you went all over the world promoting bodybuilding. Now there's just so many pros, unless if you're just a standout person, you know, the opportunities from that standpoint aren't the same. Of course, social media and stuff like that's a totally different animal. But as far as just from you receiving a pro card, getting photo shoots, so it really has watered it down. And it's
social media has done the same thing too, Bill.
The same. What's that?
Social media has done the same thing too. Yes. Because I can bring up a great example. Samson Dauda is Mr. Olympia. He's our top gun. He's the guy who's sitting on the mountain right now. He just guest posed at 6 weeks out, which is incredible for a Mr. Olympia to do something like that. Okay, he gave a preview. Did you hear the audience? Crickets.
Wow.
Crickets.
Wow.
I mean, I was astonished that I'm like, oh my! It was a time where you just like you said, you show up in a town and you guest pose, and you were a rock star. You really were. I could tell you 1,000 stories of just crazy ass stories of how I was treated when I went to guest pose. But hearing those crickets, I do think that social media has a lot to do with this too.
Yeah. I mean, you got to remember, like, back then you had to wait your favorite bodybuilder to see. You had to wait to a specific show. You had to catch them at the right time.
Flex magazine came out.
Yeah, and or they look at Flex,
3 months later after the show.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then, when they see them every day on social media, it's not like a big deal anymore. You're not like, oh, whoa. So you see them in person, and that part just sucks for them. I feel so bad for them. I'm like, you deserve this crowd going nuts for you. They're here to see you, but they're so used to scrolling every day, seeing whatever video and all that. They don't, that's what really did it in. Bill, what was your, as an amateur, what was like one of your favorite shows or one of your hardest shows that you had the most challenges with, or just one of those shows like, man, I really should have won it that year and I got messed over?
That's a good question. So in 2004, I took second place to Chris Cook, and a lot of people thought that I should have won that show. To be honest with you, Muscle Development actually had a lot of the guys that were writing for the magazines were saying that. And I'll never forget this. I got interviewed after the show, and they're like, Bill, how do you feel that a lot of people are saying that you should have won the show? And they're like, I'm like, yeah, but I didn't. And they're like, yeah, but everybody thought. I go, listen, that's for them to say. I refuse to say that I should have won the show because that was his day. I knew I was going to get my day, and I didn't want somebody to try to take my shine. For whatever happened. He won. Nothing, me saying I think I should have won the show wasn't going to change that. And if the day that I'm going to get my shine, I don't want somebody trying to take my shine away from me. So I refuse to say that. And to be honest with you, that after that show, I became very popular. I got a sponsorship and started being in the magazines. I started getting some guest appearances. And I think now, to be honest with you, a lot of the guys are so soft. Like everybody's like, oh, I should have won. I should have did this. It's like, man, but you didn't.
Yeah.
You're not.
They don't understand how hard screwed people get back in the day. Like how hard you would just get screwed over so bad. You couldn't say a word either. You say the word, you're going to get blackballed. You can't say shit.
Nobody publicly said it.
No.
Now it's just very different from that standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember I started going to the shows around 2000 to watch as a high school, 17, 18 years old. And that's what I was seeing all you guys, King, you, Chris Cook and all that. And I think, saw Chris Cook beat, didn't he beat Plumbo one year also? And Dave got second, Chris Cook got first. Or I remember one show, the audience was booing whatever Chris Cook won. It might have been with you. I can't remember exactly.
The year that Chris won, a lot of people were booing and stuff like that. And
is that the year he got his pro card? Did he get his pro card that year?
And for me, I'm like, I just refuse to be involved in that. It's like it's his day.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like, I just think that that's just a soft move to do. It's his time. And not only that, you know how hard somebody worked to be the national overall champion. What would I look like trying to take that guy's glory? The next year it was my time.
I was there. I remember all the booing with Chris Cook. He kind of disappeared like pretty fast. What'd you guys think of his physique? And he had the whole All-American look, blonde hair, all that, which I know they loved and all that. But what happened to him with bodybuilding? Because he just disappeared after a short time. I don't remember him sticking around that long.
He did a couple shows. A lot of times it's hard to stay focused that forever. A lot of times people turn pro and that's the best you see them. They put their all in that day and then they can't continue at that level. I'm not saying that that's the case for him, but it's hard to be, to get to a certain level and to just keep getting better,
Yeah, absolutely.
Take that next step. When you turned pro, what was your first pro show?
The Colorado Pro.
Okay. And during that time, what was your mindset? Do you like, hey, I need to double my gear now that I'm a pro, that I'm on a big stage? Or what was your mentality, or what did you change that, when you turned pro? Like, hey, I'm a pro, I've got to do this now.
I just needed to be full and rounder. I just, I knew the look that I had for the nationals. I was in great shape, but I was like almost a little too drawn. But it was like one of them things where like I couldn't lose again, or it was time to give it up. If I would have lost that year, I probably would have been done. I mean, 2 years, second in a row. Hey,
Did you continue to work with Hani as a pro?
I did. I
Okay.
did.
And what was he saying to you?
We just need to be bigger. Work on, my critique all the time was my sweep of my quads and the fullness of my arms. But I ran into that problem that a lot of bodybuilders do is, I would, to get my hamstrings and glutes a little bit drier, okay, I would lose fullness and my legs would start getting stringy, So it was finding that balance. And like when I was a couple weeks out, my legs were a lot fuller and rounder. But if I turned around, my glutes and hammies weren't in yet. My lower back wasn't in. But to get it all, a lot of times you got to sacrifice to get it. And I'm sure you guys, all about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you push the gear to maximum levels, or was it, let's say, average for an IFBB pro?
Definitely average. To be honest with you, I was always, I won't use the word scared, but I was very respectful of gear.
Right.
Like always, to be honest with you, when I was competing, when I was young in my amateur days, back in the day, it was hard to find anything that was real, so we've taken a lot of stuff that wasn't good, so when I turned pro, I knew that I needed to take stuff that was real, obviously, but I just respected, and my body responded pretty good.
Right.
And there were certain things that, I knew that other guys were doing, and I wasn't willing to do.
Okay, what was the highest GH you went, like the amount of GH you went? Because the guys today, they do, ungodly amounts.
Sweet spot for me was like 6.
Yeah.
What
do you think when you hear about like when the guys are taking like, 20 IUs today?
Maybe it's fake. I don't think it's fake.
No, a lot of them are taking, it's real. A lot of what they're taking is real. I mean, Bill King, you can see them transform.
Yeah, the reason I say I think is, I don't know what Bill's answer is, but the reason I say that is because at 7 or 8, it was the feeling of the carpal tunnel and your feet. I mean, for me, it was unbearable to the point where I would call Chad, and Chad would say, just back off. Back off for a few weeks and let that shit go away. So we would back off. Good old beautiful Humatrope in those little green and white boxes. I mean, now I doubt that it's that. I mean, I understand what you're saying, Armon. I get it.
Yeah.
Because I see that what's happening and all that.
I can't. First of all, I wouldn't. I don't care if I could win the Olympia. I wouldn't do that.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna say I didn't want it that bad. I just was like, I came from an athletic background. I'm like, okay, is there anything I can do harder? Can I train harder? Can I do my diet harder? But there are certain things that I was saying earlier that I just wasn't willing to do, and that was definitely one of them.
The guys that are doing it, the crazy amounts of GH, you can tell because in 2 or 3 years, their face looks like a completely different person. I mean, it's literally morphed. I know a lot of guys, they look like a certain person, and that's not even the same person because the abuse of course, heavy androgens too change your look, but all that GH and the bone growth and everything's protruding, and me and King talk about all the time about how it gives that muscle that blown up look, but the lines are gone when they gain that muscle that fast, pushing the GH and the insulin and all that stuff.
For you guys, maybe you guys can help me with this because I really don't know. How is it now that there's a look? Guys will have really, really shredded glutes, but they won't have any lines in their chest or shoulders, or they won't even really have deep abs. But their glutes are crazy striated.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know what King answer is, but they're putting on the size way too fast. So
correct.
Something that would usually take like 10 years, they're doing it in a 3 month or a 3 year period. So that rushed muscle look, they don't have the fibers in the shoulders. They don't have it in the chest. It didn't take that time, where you're pounding.
I can answer that question to build them. It will make complete sense. Exactly what Armon said right now. And now they also have what he just said and access to people like you and me and Armon who can tell them hey, you need to do this and you need to do it like this and you need to eat this and this is how you carb deplete and this is how you carb cycle. We didn't have that.
They're handed the formula right away.
That's true.
Yeah, and it took us time to learn these things. We experimented, we learned. Did peanut butter work? No. Okay, let me switch to this. Did this work? No. Let me switch. Now they just contact you. This is what I'm talking about. Armon's 100% right. They contact a top guy, top professional, and they say, hey, I want to make me look like that. And we're like, okay, we have the knowledge. We'll get you there. But it goes so fast that you just can't catch up. Yeah, they'll get the shredded glutes, but they won't have anything else happening because it was too fast.
Right.
Yeah. They want it fast too. They don't have patience. I explained to them, you can do it.
You know, but then think about it. Back in the day, there was guys that had crazy striated glutes. I mean, crazy striated chest, shoulders, back, intercostals, and they really didn't even have striated glutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of people genetically, you know, they have a hard time getting it unless they suck down their other body parts. Like you said earlier, you know, you can getting, you know, like some decent glutes that aren't shredded to like getting readily shredded glutes. You can lose just a couple inches off your quads just getting that look from behind.
That was my problem.
Yeah.
For
and
sure.
then, you know, some people can pull it off. Some people can have that full look everywhere and their glutes still look okay. And then some people's glutes will be just like saggy where they can't do that. They have to get them shredded or it'll just look off. So, yeah.
Bill, what are you doing right now? What's a day of Bill Wilmore look like right now?
Okay. Well, I train people still.
Okay.
But my main focus right now is Revival Health. That is, we're a telehealth company. We do peptides, medical weight loss, HRT. We do nationwide. And that right now, that's my baby. That's my main focus right now. I was with another company before, and it was more along the lines of a wellness place. Like we did all the aesthetics, Botox and fillers and all that stuff. And from my experience, it's just a huge money pit. You know, like overhead gets crazy high. So me and my partner split, and now I'm doing this. That's my main focus.
Very nice. That's big in Florida.
Yes. But you know, it's crazy. We get patients we get patients everywhere. You know.
Right.
So.
Right. Good. Fantastic.
I mean, it's amazing that, you know, I'm glad that people can be prescribed what they need to be prescribed today and other things. You know, there was a time where, you know, you had to go to the doctor and let your testosterone levels drop all the way for them to even give you testosterone.
I recently,
at least those days are over. So the thing,
I was talking to Jay Cutler a couple weeks ago, and he opened up a clinic very similar to what we do. And Jay told me one of the main reasons why he did it is the fact that people don't even get their blood work done because they can't even afford it. You know, so like his place, I'm sure they pretty much do it pretty close to cost, and it's another way of getting people in, but it's also another way of helping a lot of people.
Right. Right.
So the topic today is, you know, things that will wreck your bodybuilding journey. You know, going through your bodybuilding journey, there's so many different things. And even myself and you guys, that you could go further if you do, you know, mistake, whether in your personal life or your business life. What are some of the things, you know, Bill, that you're in your opinion, we'll go around, but that you think is, you've seen wreck people's careers, or maybe it's held your career back. You know, I know relationships are a big thing. People get into bodybuilding, their significant other does not like it at all. And I always tell them, listen, if you're going to do bodybuilding, break up with them now and do bodybuilding, because it's not going to work. If they're jealous, if they don't like bodybuilding, they're never going to like it. And you're not going to change their mind or anything. And so I've seen a lot of really good competitors, you know, ruin themselves.
I lost a couple good ones because of the sport, for sure. You know, one thing I see a lot is people wanting things to happen too fast. You know, because they look at the glitz and glamour and the popularity, and they do things that, you know, you can only speed up things so much, no matter what. To build a dense quality physique, it takes time. And I think a lot of people want to make They want to be great tomorrow instead of taking the time to build a good quality physique. And that way you're going to be around. Look at people like Dexter Jackson that competed forever, you know, and it's not because he tried to get to that size in 1 year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
King?
Same thing. Actually, he said exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
100%. You both said what I was going to say. Either relationship or it goes too fast. Yeah. So those are the top two for me.
Yeah. I see the relationship thing the most. Like I've had a lot of really good guys, and I'm like excited for their future, what we can do with them. And then they're like, man, I'm a girl. I'm like, dude, like you're ruining your life. Like you're gonna look back and be like, why did I do this? I'm like, I'm telling you from experience, and you know, it's frustrating seeing people go that route. With all the, you know, the knowledge being handed to people now. I mean, I enjoyed, and I don't know if you guys did, I enjoyed learning how to do things, not just giving like, hey, this is how you do it, because you know, you got like, this is how you do it, and like it all handed to you now. But when you had to like really learn like about everything, the gear, the food, the training, you made mistakes, you correct them, and then you learn that, hey, this doesn't work. What works for me doesn't work for everybody. And a lot of coaches, they don't understand that. You hire them, boop, they send out a template they sent to everybody. Are you a girl? Are you a guy? Are you, you know, whatever the hell, like 4 templates, boop, copy and paste. And I'm like, man, I'm like, guys, this is what you're paying for. And it's just like crazy because, you know, so many people do it. And when you take on a certain amount of clients, like so certain people like, well, I've got this many, it's literally impossible. To prep that many people. You can't do it
at the same show.
Yeah.
In the same weekend. That's what I mean. Now it's such a huge business that back in the day, you know, you would get like coaches that they put their all into 5 people, 6 people, you know, like I remember when I was training with Hani, he'd be like, he didn't want everybody to do like, hey man, I got in the beginning of the year, I got like 4 people getting ready for a show here, midway here. Okay. Now everybody's getting ready for the Olympia. But now you'll see people that get ready for a show. They'll have 30 people in the show.
No, it doesn't make sense. And
I don't know how it's possible.
Yeah, it's not possible. That's why they're not, you know, turning up how they should. There's a lot of guys, even some bigger name coaches, they'll have a lot of clients in his show, and a couple of them do well, and the other ones are way off. We talk about, you know, King and I was talking about that guy at first, Boss Outlaw guy, that everybody was just running to him at first. You know, I think Martin went to him at first, and everybody kind of followed, and they're like, "Oh, he's so great. He's this and that." No, he even said on a podcast, "There's nothing special about me. I'm there for my athletes. You know, when they text me back, they don't have to wait a day or 2. I'm amazed. People hire somebody, they're like, "Yeah, I haven't heard from my coach in like 4 or 5 days." I'm like, and you're hiring him again the next year. The guy that you don't hear back in 4 or 5 days. That's crazy. All of us, if you text us, I guarantee you we're texting back that same day, or if not in a few hours, you know.
Well, definitely towards the end, because you're gonna mess with their head. They're already needing somebody to be able to help them and be the supporter. If you're not getting back to them, they're already in their head.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know Bill and Keith, we've seen it too. Like some top name coaches, especially back in the day, they'll have a lot of clients in his show, and they literally just ghost a bunch of them. And I've seen it all the time. And they'll be like, "Hey man, can you help me dial in for the show? I can't even get a hold of so-and-so." I'm like, "You can't get a hold of him? Didn't you pay him like X amount of money?" "Yeah, man, I can't get a hold of him." And they're good athletes. And I'm like, going through those coaches' mind, what do they do? Just like, man, I'm just going to not have to answer whatever these clients. And it's at the most important time. They've been there every single check-in. And now it's, a few days before the show, the most important part where you really need someone looking at you like that. And then they're nowhere to be found. Like, I can't get a hold of my coach. You know how many people I used to do a dial-in program where I, offer 2 to 3 weeks and I'll dial in. And a lot of people came to me because their coaches would just ghost on them. And I'm like, you look good. You weren't cheating on your diet. There was no reason for them to do that. It's just a lot of people that get into this coaching, they're not doing it because they love to help people. I mean, listen, for the knowledge we give people, we should be probably charging 5 times that we really do.
Absolutely.
I mean, because the people that come in here, the knowledge we have to, educate somebody or go over their blood work or know, like, hey, we've had 15, 20, whatever years of experience doing this. We've seen this before. You got these new coaches, they don't know what to do. They just literally guess or will look it up on ChatGPT and just roll with it and act like they know something. And it's just a toss of a coin. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fantastic. Bill, well, what we do with this, with everybody who we have on the show, we bring them on, and we have a section that we do is called the lightning round. What I'll do is I'm going to say something to you. You say the first thing that pops in your mind. Now, I got to preface this by saying, don't do what Chris Cormier did. He's took 10 minutes to think about the answer for each one. Don't do that. I love you, Chris, but don't do that, all right? So the first thing that pops into your head. You ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Favorite cheat meal?
Pizza.
Better show, Arnold Classic or the Mr. Olympia?
Olympia.
Which one?
Olympia.
Olympia. Best thing about bodybuilding?
The feeling you get when you're done and you know you achieved your goal.
Okay. Worst thing about bodybuilding?
Takes over your life.
Okay. 100% Kevin Levrone against 100% Flex Wheeler. Who wins?
Flex Wheeler.
Okay.
Love me some Kevin, though.
100% Hadi Chupon versus 100% Kai Green. Who wins?
Kai Green.
Thank you. Your max squat, if you ever did that?
550.
Nice. Favorite football team?
Pittsburgh Steelers all day.
He's loyal, man. He's loyal to the back home folks. Favorite athlete of all time, any sport?
Michael Jordan.
Canelo or Crawford?
Ooh. Crawford.
Favorite movie?
Oh my God.
Stumped you on that one.
Got me. Oh my goodness.
We'll come back to that one. We'll come back to that one. Best bodybuilding memory?
Turning pro.
Your favorite car? Come on, pop it.
Mercedes.
Okay. 100% Dexter Jackson versus 100% Sean Ray. Who wins?
Ah, man, I got to go with Dexter.
All right. Listen, that's coming from your heart, man. It's coming from your heart. Should the posing round be judged and scored?
Yes.
Okay. 100% Nick Walker versus 100% Branch Warren. Who wins?
Branch Warren.
It's funny. I'm on. Everyone says that. Everyone who asked that question said the same thing.
Similar.
Who's Go ahead.
Similar. I don't remember which Olympia it was. Yeah, I do. The year that that Branch took second, and I was backstage, and he was walking. I just don't remember. He was so hard and dense.
Yeah.
And he was just walking and it was crazy.
Everyone has picked Branch with that question, just to let you know. It's a little bit of trivia right there. Who's winning the Olympia this year? Come on. Straight off your head.
Samson.
Okay. If Keon was in the open class this year, what would he place?
Top 3 for sure.
Wow. East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast.
Nice. GH or IGF-1?
GH.
Worst day in your life?
When I got pinned in high school in front of my whole school.
Okay. Best day in your life.
When I realized that I don't need anybody's approval.
Nice. And last one, message to the younger generation coming up.
Enjoy it. Enjoy your youth.
Simple, to the point.
Bill, where can people get a hold of you at for your training, for your services, your clinic?
Training, willpower.usa, revivalhealth.com for all of your services with HRT, peptides, medical weight loss, anytime of diagnostic testing.
Say that one more time, just for everybody. One more time. Say it one more time.
Revival Health, and that's spelled with a Y and not an I.
Okay, and they contact you through it. Can they see you everything through
Of
Instagram?
course, on Instagram, Bill Wilmore.
Bill Wilmore. There you go.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Anything
else, Bill?
No, I think that's it.
No.
I think
That's fantastic, man. It's been a long time. Last time we saw each other was on stage. Do you miss it? You miss that? The whole getting on stage and all that stuff. Is there a piece of you that wishes you could still do that?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Only thing that I do miss is I miss those relationships that you have with those bonds that you get with guys, in that competitive nature. You know, being coming from football and wrestling to bodybuilding, and not having that drive every day. And even now, it's hard for me sometimes to train I won't say work out and then not the word train, because when I was training for something. Now it's more along the lines of I work out, so right. That competitive nature, I miss that.
Right.
But not like I would ever think about, I'm going to do a master show.
Right. Fantastic.
All right, Bill, I appreciate you coming on, taking the time to come on, and absolutely keep in touch. We'll have you on again for like a wrap-up show or something like that.
Absolutely.
Take care, Bill. Good talking to you, man.
You guys.
All right, brother.
Peace.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.